of Joffey, Joe, and this is the show. Call it how I see it. And on today's episode, I got a couple of things I want to talk to y'all about. First and foremost, I, Joffey Joe, go on another epic rant about this whole Sixers and Knicks series. It's been a wild ride, and I am still in my feelings. So, I will go on an epic rant and tell you about it. Secondly, I got Carlo. He's back in the house, and we're here to run over the draft. We're here to talk about the draft. We're here to talk about the Eagles, and we're here to talk about who else we felt had good drafts. So that's definitely something you don't want to miss out on. And thirdly, I have the return of Joe Valo, and we are here to talk some NBA Postseason because it's been a crazy postseason. And yes, we will dive into the Sixers because we are homers. But we will also talk about the greater light of the rest of the NBA postseason and what we feel and who we feel might take it all at the end of the whole thing. So, don't miss out on this action-packed episode of Call It How I See It. Here, check this out. You see this? Do you see this? Do you see this? New York Knicks fans out there? That's right. Last night, what a night. What a night to be alive. I bit every damn nail off my finger. I really stressed out. Made it into work though. But what a showing. And I'm going to be honest with you. Watching everything and seeing the Sixers, the Tyrese Maxey. It was Tyrese Maxey. It was a Tyrese Maxey show. That's right. Like, this has been a long time coming. Ever since he's been in the league, he's grown. He's won Most Improved Player this year, which he really didn't even need to, win. But he won it anyway because he's that guy. But let's be real. All the hard work that young man has done and he has gone through his entire career is precedent to what we saw last night on a national level, on a national scale, on the biggest court in the NBA, the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden, where you New York fans think you can just come into Philly and take things over. Yeah, I get it, but also this is also a contribution to those Sixer fans that have season tickets and don't want to go to the game. Selling your tickets to Knicks fans, shame on you. You should not be allowed to hold season tickets after doing such a thing. I hope we show up out in Game 6, 9 o'clock game, a little brutal, but I'm off. I'll be tuned in after I drop the episode, yes. But overall, let's talk about last night, right? Sixers able to pull out a win. And I'm going to be honest with you, after Deuce McBride hit that wide open shot right in the middle of the free throw line, right? Brutal defense. It's been a brutal defense all season. Not all season, all postseason, excuse me. But, I just don't understand the philosophies that Nick Nurse puts out there. I want to think Nick Nurse is a good coach, but honestly, compared to Tom Thibodeau, he's getting out-coached and outworked left and right. Both benches are very minimal and skeletal. Both teams, it seems, have been using 8-man rotations, and the Sixers been throwing Kyle Lowry out there like a damn sponge, just looking for damn fouls and everything. And it's been really brutal, honestly. Other than Tyrese Maxey and probably 65% Joel Embiid, it's been really brutal. But luckily for us, someone who gets paid a lot of money showed up and did their job last night, and that guy is Tobias Harris. Kudos to you. Finally, played a good game when we needed it most. Hit threes when we needed it most. It really, really helped the Sixers win last night because, mind you, everything that he hasn't brought to the table and has been had to get elevated in parts of Maxey and Joel Embiid's play, it can't go unnoticed what he did last night. I will give kudos, and deservingly so, will say he earned a paycheck last night. But time will tell what he does in Game 6. We're going to need him to be in Game 6. He actually made some nice, crucial rebounds when Joel just is running out of gas, man. It's really brutal. It looks like a car that is stuck on E. That's what Joel Embiid looks like in the fourth quarter, and it's been really brutal. But, it's worked. And I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, Knicks fans, it should be 3-2 us. Not 3-2 you guys, 3-2 Sixers, right? The NBA took initiative and narrative. But, it is what it is, and we are still here fighting. Odds are still against us, but odds were against us last night, and we were able to pull that off, right? So, we are here now. We play a 9 o'clock game, which on the East Coast is very brutal to a lot of people, especially for those that have to report to work on Friday morning. But I am not one of those people, so I will be tuned in and locked in and focused into what the Sixers might be able to do at home. Today, Sixers owners Josh Harris, Fanatics owner Michael Rubin, who is part stake owner of Sixers, and also, I believe, David Adelman. Yes, I believe I'm right. And David, excuse me, I don't know the name off the top of my head. They all together collectively bought 2,000 tickets. 2,000 tickets, no, is not 20,000. That fits into the Wells Fargo Center, but 2,000 is 10% of that, and it can help, you know, keep somewhat of a home court advantage with the Sixers. After Game 4 in Philly and the Sixers lost the way they did, and the New York fans, or the New York Knicks fans, the New York pricks. That's what the hell you guys are, the New York pricks. Yeah, I'm saying it. I don't care. I'm going to rep my team just like you guys rep your team. You guys want to be obnoxious? I can be obnoxious too. And this is me being obnoxious, okay? So, mind you, back to the ticket sales and everything involved with that. These 2,000 tickets are slotted to go to first responders and others that support and serve the community of Philadelphia, which is a good move, charity-wise, and makes these guys look good. But 2,000 tickets isn't enough. The big issue here, like I was iterating earlier in this take, is involving the 14,000 season ticket holders that were dishing out tickets to New York Knicks fans, which is very ludicrous in my book, but it did happen, and it led to such result where we heard MVP chants in our own home for Jalen Brunson. Do I think another fan base could do such a thing? I don't, just because in terms of location and distance between New York and Philadelphia, I don't think Boston fans could do this. That would probably be the only other fan base I could imagine doing something close to what the New York Knicks fans did. But honestly, if I was over at the Wells Fargo Center that day, especially on a Sunday, and I watched Knicks fans do that in our own house, I don't know. I don't want to say anything that might incriminate me here on this show. So, overall, though, we can't let that happen. I know that wouldn't happen at an Eagles game. I've seen it happen with Giants fans trying to take over Eagles games, and that doesn't end well for them. Flyers games, same thing. Even when the Phillies play the Mets, we don't see that happen. But, you know, since Knicks fans are desperate, like a bunch of rats coming out the sewer that they come out and crawl out of because they finally have a good season, because they finally feel like they can do something. But let's be real. Let's have a reality check for you Knicks fans, as I'm looking right into the camera as I say this, okay? You guys are winning the title. You guys are still missing probably your second best. Maybe, if he's 100% healthy in terms of talent and skill, might be your best player. So let's be real. You guys win this series possibly, right, in 6 or 7 games. You guys are going to be mentally and physically diffused to the point where even if you played an Indiana Pacers team, you guys are going to have a hard time beating them, honestly. Let's be real. You guys want to celebrate after winning one playoff game, after another playoff game, and then this is what happens? This is why you guys don't win titles. Your fan base is a big part of that, all right? From the celebrities to even the douchebags that you guys have that want to come down to Philly and rah-rah all over the place. You guys have to realize you guys haven't won anything. And you guys jump the gun when something good happens. And this is why an egg drops on your face like it did last night, okay? So, mind you, Tyrese Maxey might have had the best fourth quarter in Madison Square Garden history, dropping 22 points, and also led the Sixers in overtime for the win as Joel Embiid once again ran out of gas. Having a triple-double, not even putting up 20 points, but getting at least, 10 rebounds and 10 assists. Got the miniature Jokic numbers, but that honestly won't be enough for them to win. It is clear as day that if the Sixers want to win the series, it is going to be around Tyrese Maxey and his energy and everything that he can present and bring on the floor. Time will tell. Like I said, I don't like our rotation right now. I do appreciate players like Nico Batum. I do appreciate the effort Kelly Oubre is putting out there, although he's not having the best series. Tobias Harris, if he could show up somewhat like that and not average 8 points per game, I will be appreciative of that, given this circumstance, because the Knicks aren't also 100% as well. And other than Jalen Brunson, who put up 40 points again last night, just seems totally unguardable, at least for anybody that is slotted to go against him on the Sixers. It's going to be a tall task. And like I said earlier in this take, Tom Thibodeau is out-coaching Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse lets his team play freely a lot, similar to Doc, but inserts certain defensive schemes when it doesn't seem that these defensive schemes that they've been running all season long are clearly working against the Knicks. The Knicks seem to have answers for them, whether it's on the perimeter hitting open shots or just having Jalen Brunson do his little, shimmy shake and getting to the rim. It's presenting a lot of issues for the Sixers, and it could continue if they don't sharpen up and grab more rebounds from a player that's only 6'4", 6'5", and Josh Hart that is out rebounding the Sixers. Not even Hardenstein. It's mostly Josh Hart, which is very head-scratching, but it continues to happen, and I don't hope it continues to happen, because if it does continue to happen, the Sixers have no chance of winning. Winning on the boards is important, and last game the Sixers did. So, if we can do what we can do and control what we can control, there's no reason why we can't come back and win this series. A lot of pressure will be taken off of Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey has looked like he has accepted this challenge. And he won't let the Sixers die. And I really, really love this kid and want him to have a lifetime contract with the Sixers because he deserves it. Everything he's done so far, he deserves it. Yes. So, tonight, because I put this out today, tonight will be a big showcase of who the Sixers really are. They fought last night. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see a convincing win and go into Game 7. But the way this series has drug out, it's been a fight every game. Every game has been a fight, a brawl, until one team honestly just submits and shows that the other team just wants it more than that team. And the Knicks have fought, and they have shown that they have wanted it more than the Sixers. However, I think last night might have been very inspiring for this team and could help rejuvenate the team to the point where they can pull this off and actually make Joel Embiid's premonition of them coming back and winning the series reality. Time will tell, and I hope next week when I do another take, I hope that the Sixers are still alive, and I hope we can really do some damage because honestly, if we are able to come back and upset the Knicks in this series, it will show dividends. It will show that this team does have heart, has fight, which it has not really had in the past couple of regimes under different coaches. But I really like this team, man. I don't want to see them done yet. I really don't. I want to see them, be able to pull this off, and I want to continue to watch them play basketball. It's really a thing of, when they're rolling on all cylinders and everything's doing good, it makes me happy because I think this team really has a chance. But given, other teams throw things to distinguish what the Sixers do well, it will be hard to figure out how to win these next two games. But time will tell, and games need to be played. So we shall see. But I do want to show off my jersey one more time because this kid is the future. He's a future face of the NBA, and he will be a Sixer for life. And if they're not, Daryl Morey, me and you are going to have a big problem. And we're back, and I have the one and only John Carlo back in the house. Yes, that's right.
Go. How we doing? We all good?
Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back to
Thank you.
Call It How I See It. But as we talked last week, Jay, we talked some draft, and
Yes, we did.
it was a really action-packed draft, I must say. A lot of cool things happened, a lot of surprises from Michael Penix to other teams trading and making deals. It was pretty. It was a cool draft. I liked it. I watched it with a couple of my friends at home. And we took it. You took it for what it was. Us as Eagles fans, I think we came out with a big smile.
A very good weekend.
Yes.
Very good weekend.
Yes, very successful weekend.
No complaints.
No, none at all. Actually, just hell. We'll dive right into it right now. Overall, in this 2024 draft that was taking place in Detroit, Michigan, another record-setting crowd. Detroit has become like a football town again, I guess. But it was a good showing for the draft. It was definitely a good look overall. But back to the Eagles here, us taking who a lot of people figured to be the two best corners in the draft, and that was really clutch. I mean, for us to have Quinyon Mitchell coming out of Toledo, having a great pro day, and when Nick Saban said that I've had this kid on my radar in the transfer portal for almost 2 years now, that was that just got me right there.
Carries a lot of weight.
Absolutely, and the whole vibration and everything with that, it really made me appreciate who he was because I had some question marks and overall, I was just thinking, maybe this kid, because he hasn't played in in a weaker conference, he hasn't really seen that type of talent. But then when I broke it down with my friends there, it was just he did play big talent. They played the Big Ten. They played other foes around the country that would really merit him having this type of draft grade, and him showing out in the at the Senior Bowl really showed a lot too. So
yeah, he was going against a lot of ones.
Yeah,
a lot of ones,
I know he really showed he was a dog, and that's why he got where he was. It was kind of surprising to a lot of folks there that he fell to the position he did. But, for us, and Howie Roseman and everything, it was determined they were going to take a corner anyway. It was interesting who they were going to take. Maybe it was going to be Terrion Arnold. We got a couple picks after us with the Detroit Lions, or even waiting later for, Cooper DeJean, or even having Kool-Aid, McKendry in the mix there too. There was definitely no doubt about that. The Eagles wanted to go in this direction. And, I mean, it kind of reminisces to me to the 2002 draft where they drafted Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown, first and then in the second round.
Oh. Very much so.
But, having these guys wait in the wings behind, Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent, who they already knew, were kind of already on the down and the descent, and having these other guys learn from them, it's going to be crucial. So, I mean, right. I don't know if, even with Slay coming out after the draft, after they took Mitchell that night, coming out with the tweet, reiterating that he's going to make the most of this and try to get the next guy prepared, including spotlighting Quinion Mitchell.
As he should. I think both of those guys are going to get playing time early, especially Mitchell.
Yeah, I agree. I agree too. I mean, I definitely think there'll be certain packages they'll be in there. I mean, who knows, bro? Like, what if they were to run something crazy, like having two corners for two downs and then having the other two guys take over the other two downs? That would, you can get creative.
Never know what Vic's cooking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's very true. Like, we don't know yet. It's gonna be a new defensive scheme, and also like that's where Miami might have not fit with Fangio is because of the personnel that's required for this type of defensive schematics. Like if we go back to his like good days back where he was in San Francisco with Jim Harbaugh as their defensive coordinator, like they had corners ready, and
right.
Like that system really worked out very well for them. But us bolstering our secondary and having flexibility even with Cooper DeJean with our second round pick, it should be very interesting to see what they do. But
big time pick in the second round
for sure.
Never thought I'd see him make it that far.
I didn't either. Like we were talking with our boy Glenn last week, and shout out to Glenn Pratt.
Glenn, where are you?
Yeah, we're missing you on this show, Glenn, but it's all right. We always got you in mind, Glenn. We always got you in mind. But I mean, like, Glenn was almost adamant on having the Steelers go after Cooper DeJean, but they they went in the route where they wanted to bolster their line, which is understandably so. Like you want to build in the trenches. Good thing for us, like as a franchise, we're in a position right now where we're solidified and secure in that position, and even we have a great offensive line coach that can help develop guys and go in that direction too. Like we didn't start scratching that sticker till the end of until the third day of the draft, and picking the kid up from Michigan and another center, I believe. Like it turned out for depth help and them understanding the concepts. Like, it's going to be interesting how they develop over time too. So, but overall, Jay, I've been rambling all freaking segment here. I want to hear I want to hear what you got to say.
Now the Quinion Mitchell, that pick, I had Terry and Arnold ranked higher, but after taking Quinion Mitchell and looking at the tape, I'm very happy with the pick. And you know how I feel about Cooper DeJean.
Right.
We talked about it. Shout out to the Commanders for giving us the pick.
Yeah.
Love the interdivision trades on draft day to take the player that I know they wanted.
Yes. Yeah. It's just funny how things work out like that sometimes. And even like later in the later draft, like we were able to get Jeremiah Trout Jr. That was a big pick.
The third round pick intrigues me a lot because from what I've read and heard, that was a very Fangio inspired pick.
Yes, and I think that's going to put pressure on players that we picked up in the free agency, like Okaro that we picked up from Detroit on the outside. I think this kid Hunt could really battle for a position like that.
I watched his tape.
Yeah, he's got a good first step, especially off the edge. Like that will definitely help, especially since we picked up Huff in free agency.
Yes.
Like that, we definitely could solidify. I mean, we restructured Josh Sweat's deal, and I can imagine he's going to be the other edge rusher on that situation. Because I don't think he can play defensive end at like the size he is. I think it'll be better and more fit for him if he did play on the outside edge, opposite side Huff. But
right.
I mean, like up front, we're probably looking at Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, and Jordan Davis.
Yes,
running that 3-4 scheme that we haven't run in a while. I think we haven't run 3-4 scheme since we had Chip Kelly and Billy Davis back there. But
I think that Jordan Davis is a perfect nose tackle.
Yeah.
Perfect nose tackle to implement in that 3-4 scheme.
I agree 100%. And now since we have some more depth at linebacker, like we can almost have Nakobe Dean and Jeremiah Trotter duke it out for that other inside linebacker role next to Devin White.
This year 3 is going to be huge for Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is similar build.
Yeah, they're very similar in build, and also like we can't also underestimate the linebacker we picked up, Braun from the New Orleans Saints. Like he's got a lot of experience.
Oh, yeah, Christian Braun. Yeah.
Christian Braun. Also, the San Francisco linebacker we picked up, he has experience running in that 3-4. So like we have depth there that can actually prove to come to light later on in the future where it could help us, just in case
playing next to Devin White in there.
Yeah, I mean Devin White without a doubt is our best linebacker. Like in terms of being on the inside, that's he's our bread and butter. But, with these other surrounding pieces, it can definitely help and definitely, help bolster this defense that needed a lot of help last year.
Yeah, especially on the back end. But I look at the cornerback room now.
Yes.
I'm very happy. Even with James Trashberry back there, I'm very happy with it.
Bro, like when you think about it, we got like 9 corners deep. It's really crazy. Like we could like name them, right? We can like name almost all of them. Like even when we include these nickel backs, like us getting Isaiah Rodgers was back. It was huge. We ended up re-signing Avonte Maddox, which... we end
up going from having a shortage to having an abundance.
I know, it's really, really crazy. We still have Eli Ricks on there. Like he might end up being on the practice squad. We it's really crazy, like all the talent we just acquired in terms of like.
The Rodgers situation did scare me a bit when he did not get reinstated with the rest of the gamblers we had. But just give it time. Gadelka came through.
It worked out. Raj actually came through for us there. But Isaiah Rodgers, especially in a return game, it will definitely like take it.
Yeah.
It'll take it to another level. Don't get me wrong though. I was actually really impressed with Britton Covey this past season being a returner. But I mean Isaiah Rodgers I think takes it to another level compared to what Britton Covey only can do. Like he's only got certain skill sets, but Isaiah Rodgers has more explosion.
He might be on the bubble. He might actually be on the bubble.
Yeah, I think so too. Unfortunately, he could possibly be a practice squad player for us. We'll see how things turn out. Got more receivers now too. Like we really got a lot of depth going on here. So I mean, overall, like I'm really happy with our draft. How he definitely did his thing here. He worked his magic.
Let the man cook. Let the man cook. He's finding new ways to make us better.
Yeah.
The draft at one point was his weak point.
Yes.
Now we're looking at it as a strength.
Yeah, like we definitely were happy with everything that resulted here. Like even with the 8 trades that were made, doing some Bill Belichick moves or whatever. But for the greater good of everything at the end of the draft, it worked. Even, they were looking for a tackle and like offensive lineman, and they were able to find it through Mekhi Becton. That was a good underrated pickup. As a backup tackle.
I'm hoping to see Stoutland do something with him because if they can.
Yeah. He might.
If Stoutland can do something with him, that's a massive tackle right there.
I agree. I mean, maybe he just wasn't in the right situation. But remember like a player like Chance Warmack, like he was on that Super Bowl team. Like he ended up, Isaiah Samalo ended up taking over eventually. But like a talent like that was a first round pick, and going through the Stoutland University, which he was already familiar with him his days in Alabama. But like the familiarity and everything, he was able to fine tune himself into a good player. It worked out, and we definitely used him to the best of his abilities. So
very true.
But overall, we had a good draft. If you could, who else would you say made out really good in this draft, Jack?
I think that Chicago did well. I agree with the take there.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota did well getting Dallas Turner at 17.
Yeah, that was a huge pick, especially since the way they let Danielle Hunter walk. You know what I mean?
Right.
They ended up kind of like almost in a weird sense of a way through free agency. Ended up like swapping players with Houston, but letting Hunter go to Houston and the defensive end from Houston come into Minnesota. But I mean, them getting Dallas Turner was a big pickup. Kind of reminds me of a Will Anderson. He's got that like mold of outside, edge rusher from Alabama.
That normal build of an Alabama linebacker.
Yeah, I mean on the outside edge, yeah, like it was definitely a good pick by them. I definitely liked Chicago a lot, like you said, Minnesota. I'm trying to think.
Buffalo didn't do bad.
They didn't.
Acquiring picks and still getting their man.
They did. They still got their man, which they're happy about. And I do, like we were talking about last week. We think Keon Coleman, like you hit the nail on the head there. It just didn't, They made a funny move with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs got better, unfortunately, getting James Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
Excuse me, Xavier Worthy. Excuse me.
Look at the speed in that wide receiver room. You got Hollywood.
Yeah.
She Need for Speed. You got Need for Speed Rice, and then you get this.
Yeah, and then you have Travis Kelce back as well. You know what I mean? Like
I think this is his last contract, but
yeah, for sure.
Him being able to close it out with the team.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but the Chiefs got better with them getting Worthy.
Yeah, they done extended everybody else this offseason too. The GM, Andy Reid. You can't leave Travis out.
No,
you can't leave Travis out there.
They're ready to go. They're ready to run it back, and if anything, they got better because Andy Reid, as we all know, he knows how to use speed. And speed in today's NFL is deadly. So
speed kills. Yes, it does.
It certainly does. But overall, like I was iterating earlier in the take, this was a good draft. It was very entertaining. Like I said, us all scratching our heads with what Atlanta did, and then other things that came about. A lot of linemen getting taken. So overall.
Oh yeah. I mean that Joe Alt pick surprised me. I thought they would have went after a playmaker. I'm not completely surprised, but do I think it was a position of need? Not right at that moment.
True. I mean, I guess the idea, going to Harbaugh or whatever, he wants to run that ball. You know what I mean? Like we were kind of talking about last week. Having his brother.
The Ravens West.
They are the Ravens West. I mean, but it is like they
receiver room.
They took.
They
got McConkey, but I don't see him as being some.
I think him and Rice are going to get significant playing time.
They will. They will, and they're still banking on Quentin Johnson to be somebody, which we were kind of talking about the one day he could just be a new Kevin White. So we'll see.
Yes.
But a lot of things there made me scratch my head, but we'll see what they end up doing.
None more than Atlanta.
Yeah, I know everyone's still questioned by that, and everyone's going to be looking at that in a long lens of things like, was this really the right pick, and is this the right fit? So
I was reading that Atlanta had Penix as their number 2 ranked quarterback.
They really liked him.
Yeah. I was like, but
They were determined on getting him. No matter what, they were determined on getting him. But well, like Penix is already older. Excuse me. He's already 23. But if this whole project plays out, you might not even see the field till he's 28. But Jordan Love showed dividends last year, and we know about Aaron Rodgers. So
giving me Danny Watkins vibes there with that age, but
yeah, I know. Fireman, fireman, horrible pick.
dangerous.
Not even a good player. But overall, from Danny Watkins to this draft, it was very entertaining, and everything's mostly set for mini camp to start, and I'm sure some other roster moves will end up happening, according to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't think will. But
they did have a roster move. Oh, yes, they did.
I mean, we'll see over time. We'll see how that works out. But overall, we're just notching inch by inch and yard by yard closer to football season. And
yes, we
before
are.
we know it, we'll start up. They'll probably have an 18-game season, which will make a lot of people mad. But we'll see what happens. Roger Goodell's got some.
We the fans are not mad. We're gonna be.
Nah, we'll take that for what it is. We don't mind an extra game.
Why not?
But overall, I appreciate you coming on, Jay.
Love talking thanks football. For having me as always, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're just here to call how we see it.
Of course. Thanks, man.
Peace. And we're back, and I have my good friend Joe Valo back on the show. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Jay. That's right.
Sure.
I mean, so let's. I want to hear what you think. I want to know what you're thinking about the Sixers right now, Joe. What do you think?
To be honest, I'm high from Game 5. I'm really happy about Game 5. I'm really proud of Maxey. I feel like he made a Reggie Miller moment.
Yeah.
Really happy he got to do that and show out in the playoffs, especially in Madison Square Garden.
Dude, Dude, he hit that shot. They shut the fuck up. I just fucking loved every second of it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing to watch. Are they going to win the series? I'm not sure. I hope so. I really hope so now. I wasn't too high on it before, but I really hope they win it now. But at the same time, as good as Maxey was last game, he literally saved Joel Embiid's whole career.
Yeah, I mean, Joel had a triple double, but I don't even know what to make of this anymore, man. But after what I soaked in from last night is that it is Maxey's team now. It has to be Maxey's team. They have to do everything. Moving forward, it's around Max. It can't be around Joel anymore. He's not consistent. He's not there on a regular basis for them to really invest in him anymore.
He's not reliable.
He's not. But this is the bad thing. As much as I love Joel, and like I said last week on my take, I'd take him until he can't play anymore. I did say that, unfortunately, and I don't know how to feel about that now. But I'm just saying, after watching last night, you just can't build around him anymore, and that's just showed that. Honestly, I would rather just see them give Maxey a lifetime contract, and then still have Joel as a piece. But that's always going to be as a piece. He isn't going to close the game out for you, and he just his fourth quarters are just brutal, Joe. I just can't watch it. I'm just I never seen this is worse than LeBron in the fourth quarter, man. It really is.
Well, LeBron, as bad as people say he was in the fourth quarter, at least he played team-winning basketball.
True.
If you look, you can look at the score and see if Joel Embiid is winning or losing, or if he's having a good game or not.
Yeah.
I feel like if you watch the player of the game, he's moping around the whole time.
Yeah, his body language is definitely coming to light. It's terrible. It's coming to light, and as a leader, you're expected to compose yourself in a good manner that helps uplift the team no matter what the situation is. Jalen Brunson's got great demeanor. His physical, his mental and his physical match up to the point where it's not gonna ever get deterred by whatever happens. He took a shot from Joel right in the jaw. He might have said something back to Joel, but overall it was straight to business. And it's very stoic of him to be like that, and it does rub off in a good way for your teammates. That's what a true leader is. And, a lot of people are starting to question Joel about that. I know, that whole press conference after Game 2, after they lost the way they lost, him looking down and everything. I mean, it could have been him trying to hide his palsy going on or whatever, but, I mean, a lot of people took it in a negative light, so.
I think it's time to start labeling Joel Embiid as a selfish player. Besides Game 2 interview you just said, let's go back to Game 7 interview last year.
Yeah.
When he had a horrible game. He threw all his teammates under the bus.
Yeah.
Every time he's having an interview, he talks about how he's the most dominant player in the league. He's the best player in the league. He can't be stopped, and he loves leading his team to victory. He never gives his teammates any credit. Not that I've seen. And let's get back to his body language. Maxey, on the other hand, is the opposite of Joel Embiid. Maxey's like a little kid playing basketball.
Yes.
he may miss a shot, but he wants to go take the next shot so bad, and he believes he's going to make it.
Right.
Joel Embiid is not having a good game. I don't think he can turn it around because his body, his mental is so messed up.
No, I agree. His mental, he's very mentally frail, and today's NBA where there's a lot of people chirping and you got the crowd, dude. You got the whole crowd telling you "fuck you." Like he just doesn't seem like he absorbs it very well. It definitely rattles him.
We're dishing it out the most, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, also like cultural wise, like coming from Africa and being exposed to this American lifestyle, like he seemed like he embraced it at first and was like a wild child and being a troll and all this other stuff. But like when it gets put back in his face, he can't really. Some people just can't take it, and it doesn't seem like he can take it. It happened to Ben Simmons, and I think overall, I don't know if it was just like them upcoming and like their upbringing in the NBA, maybe being babied and pampered, but they weren't really exposed to this type of climax and action that's getting put in their face that they can't handle. Like
Ben Simmons, right? When Ben Simmons was on the team, Joel used to throw him under the bus a lot.
yes, he did.
And yeah, Ben Simmons was a big reason we lost that series to the Hawks, but him not dunking the ball kind of made everybody forget that Embiid sucked too.
Yes, he got Ben Simmons was scapegoated out of Philly, and
he always has an excuse.
yeah, I mean, like that's the thing about Joel. I mean, from his injuries to his play and also
last year, Joffey, when we got eliminated, James Harden had a horrible game, right? But didn't shoot in the fourth quarter, took one shot.
Yeah.
But Joel Embiid also sucked.
Yeah, I know. It was it was swept under the rug. A lot of the shit with Joel Embiid gets swept right under the rug, and so it gets put back to light again, and then people start to question it. But now, like I think we're at the point where we all realize that he is not the cornerstone of the team. He's just a piece. He is, because if he goes to another team, he's not going to be a cornerstone of another team unless it's a freaking lottery team. Other than that, nobody really wants him like that, bro. It's just like he's inconsistent, and like you said, like his body language and his mental state, just a lot of question marks with it. So
people talk about AD, right? People talk about how AD is so frail. One thing I can say about AD is when AD isn't on the bench and he's actually playing, at least he's AD.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's giving you AD numbers. He's giving you. Whenever he's on the floor, he's Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he's trying.
Who the fuck is on the floor right now with Joel Embiid's jersey? It's playoff beat. It always happens.
Yeah.
It's always points per game less than the regular season.
Yes, I mean other than the 50-point game where it was like almost like a fluke, kind of. But
James Harden had a 250-point game.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like it's almost like a fluke. It's like almost it can happen, but it's not something you ever want to put your money on. It isn't. So.
It was a guarantee earlier in the season.
It's the state of the Sixers, and they still have a large hill to overcome here. But like honestly, Joe, I don't think the Knicks are that good. I don't. They're not 100% either. They're missing Julius Randle, and like overall, like their rotation is only like 8 guys, and like they play 3-guard set. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't beat this team. It's more of us beating ourselves than them beating us. Honestly, like it should be 3-2 us right now, but it's not, and we gotta take that for what it is. But I don't know.
I don't think the Knicks are that good, but with that being said, it's hard because we just had to lose one more game.
Right.
We put it in that position.
I agree. And if anything, I think Tibbs is kind of out-coaching Nick Nurse.
I like Nick Nurse.
I like the guy, I do, but I don't love him yet.
I like how he put the ball in Maxey's hands at the end of the game.
I mean, he understands, like, he is a realist, especially in the fourth quarter.
A little bit, though. It took him a little bit.
Yeah, like, even, like, this whole Tobias thing, like, he's still believing in Tobias, and Tobias finally kind of came through last night. So.
Yesterday, there was a few times they were trying to run the play to Joel Embiid, and before the play even got developed, the Knicks stole it.
Yeah, they knew, because he's slow, and, oh my god, the turnovers were brutal, bro.
He couldn't, like, fend off Mitchell Robinson for position. Mitchell Robinson getting the ball from him. Like, he couldn't get an entry pass into the post, and the one time he did get it in the fourth quarter, Mitchell Robinson poked it right out.
I know. They, like, knew, or even from Brunson and DiVincenzo getting in there, stealing the ball and stuff, like, they knew. They were figuring things out. It just spelled for disaster a lot. There was a lot of bad turnovers. They just played sloppy ball. So
that last one here, Joffey, when Mitchell Robinson stole the ball with a couple seconds left, and OG Anunoby got it and ended up dunking it.
Yeah.
I swore the game was over because the way Embiid's body language looked, he gave up.
He did. Even like that pick that he set for Maxey, he's like,
Yeah, the way he was rolling.
Yeah, just slow. But all right. So on another note, other than the Sixers and the Knicks, which has been the best series, we can all agree on that. What do you think about what else do you think about this playoffs? I mean, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards is really taking that step, bro. He really is there. I mean,
let me put this in the court.
Okay. But, I think Anthony Edwards, bro, on a real note, though, I think he's really gotten to that point, knocking out your Suns and taking everything from that. Like, there's a lot that, that was a good, like, sweeping the Suns, that's a lot. And like, Kevin Durant going through 2 sweeps like that, Joe, I don't know, man. I guess time will tell with that.
I honestly think that Kevin Durant is probably the most overrated superstar of our lifetime.
Wow, Joe, that's a lot. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
No, not overrated. Let me rephrase that. I'll say underachieved.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Durant's natural talent, right? When everybody thinks of Kevin Durant, everybody calls him the best scorer ever, best natural scorer ever. And none of his numbers back it up. The only reason people say that is because he's 7 foot and we know what he can do.
Right.
If you take his numbers and you don't know whose numbers they are, you take the name off the numbers.
Just be somebody else.
He would not be considered one of the NBA's greatest scorers ever. He wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, this.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, it's tough because his measurements and his skill sets, show something else. But being like a cornerstone for a team, it's always gonna look like now on his resume that he needed to go to the Warriors to win. And like it really, and then like the way things went when he was on his own, having things turn out on this type of situation, even being on this, handpicking the Suns. Even like I saw a report today, he might even consider the Miami Heat, which could be also another toxic relationship there. So I don't, I don't know what's next for KD. I don't even like Steph and LeBron. They're all in these like, they're watching the younger guys start to take over, and then now they're like taking a step back, trying to like, get back to where they were. But I don't know if they will be able to.
See, I feel like KD has got to go to a big three. That's not 2 guards in him. He's got to go to a big three with an actual big.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could make sense if he went to the Lakers, but I don't know if that puts the Lakers over the top. Yeah, right.
But Jimmy Butler, him,
and Bam.
Bam's great.
Bam is good. I think Bam's actually better than Jimmy Butler now.
Absolutely.
I think because of Jimmy Butler's injuries and everything, and him getting older, it's kind of taken him a side back. But that could be a fit. I don't know if the conditioning that Miami, pushes on their players down there would fit someone like Kevin Durant. But I think they would kind of push past it just to have Kevin Durant's skill set on their team. But that's one thing.
Back to the Kevin legacy thing. I feel like he's the most underachieved because he should be. There's no reason Kevin Durant shouldn't be in the conversation with Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James.
In terms of pure scorer, he is there, like skill set. But in terms,
he's in that conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Stephen Curry have a better career than him.
They're gonna count the rings, bro. That's what it's always mattered.
It's kind of hard to argue that he had a better career than Steph.
It is hard to argue, especially the way Steph has kind of revolutionized the way basketball is being played nowadays. That's a big thing. I just think there's more positive things to Steph's career than there is Kevin Durant's. And
he's a more big player.
Yeah, and they'll look more at that than this. So.
And he's just as accomplished, has the skill, stats like AD, and he's more of a winner.
Right, but I mean that people would argue also, like if you're looking at the past, like when he was on the Warriors, he was the best player on the Warriors. So it's right. It depends on how you look at it, honestly. But that's But overall, these old guys, they're kind of taking a step back. Overall, I still think it's Jokic's time right now. I still think the Nuggets have the best chance to win it, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. We got the Mavs and Clippers playing right now. I know I said the Clippers, but like the Clippers, like we talked about weeks ago, they're falling apart. Kawhi's not healthy. I don't think they have any type of chance if they aren't all healthy.
Now that I'm watching the series, I don't really think it matters. I feel like they're both the same team. They're both losing in the next round. If I had to put my money on.
When you're talking about the Mavericks and Clippers, or
Mavericks and Clippers, I feel like whoever wins the series is losing in the next round.
Yeah, that's pretty fair to say because they're going to be matched up with Denver, I believe.
Denver, it's got to. I think it's going to be Denver and I don't know.
Timberwolves, I think Minnesota's legit, man. I think their coach is young. He knows the team, and then I think they're a legitimate team.
I agree with you, but I also think the Thunder.
Yeah, the Thunder and Minnesota are going to be. I don't know if they're going to match up with each other, but if they do, that'll be a very interesting matchup. Right. That's what I thought. Because like it's a tournament format now. It's not like the original playoff format.
The Clippers, Mavericks plays OKC.
Right.
And okay. So
OKC, I think OKC is going to go to the conference finals, but they'll probably end up losing because they're not there yet. But this is going to be good exposure. Their coach, who was coach of the year, they'll. This would be a good experience for them, win or lose. Which if they win, it's just a bonus. But everything else is just positive for them moving forward.
I feel like they're going to be the two teams with the Nuggets. But the Nuggets window is wide open, but when their window closes, I feel like it's going to be the Thunder
And the Timberwolves. Yes, it seems like the new is almost there, but it's not gonna overtake the now.
It's like, why don't the old heads just team up? Why don't KD go play with
LeBron and Steph. With who?
AD and Dame?
Like they could do that. There's options on the table.
See, if I'm teaming up with a team, I almost don't even want Bron.
No, because LeBron.
You're going to be there for 1 or 2 years, and that's it. And you're too much attention for what you're going to bring.
I agree. It's like it takes up a big piece of the whole pie, and you would hate to see the pie go rotten just because of that.
Throw something real quick, Doc.
Yeah.
There's rumors going around saying that the Knicks really want to get
Devin Booker
to team up with Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
How would you feel if the Sixers got Devin Booker?
I would be very happy. I think him and Maxey can play very well, very well with each other. The catch and shoot factor, they both shoot very well. I think, and in terms of like a shooting aspect, I think that would be a better combination than Jalen Brunson and Devin Booker. I think if it was more Devin Booker and Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson's more a facilitator, slow motion, Jalen Brunson's kind of like the new age Chris Paul, I kind of would say. Like, in today's game, he can move slow, create shots for himself, and facilitate for his teammates. But if he was...
He's a better scorer than Chris Paul ever was.
No, I agree right now. I'm just saying, like, he's like a new age type of Chris Paul. He can move. He can still facilitate and move the ball in a faster manner. Because, Chris Paul, man, he slows everything down. But Jalen Brunson can do that too. But also, he puts it in a way where it still can be fast-paced, or he can still move the ball and thread it down the court the way it should be done in today's game, which is important. But, like, I think Devin Booker is a good mix for either of those guys, honestly. Like, Devin Booker is like today's NBA in terms of, like, catch and shoot and score and being a good two guard, but like we saw this year, he can't be like he can't run the point. It was almost set up to fail.
He can't run the point either. I don't love it.
Who, Maxey?
Yeah, I feel like that's the position he's gonna have to play, but he's got a lot of developing to do.
Yeah, and I think over time he'll be every year he's gonna just get better and better at whatever position he plays. But like he is like a 1.5 because he plays the 2 and the 1. So. Yeah, he is. In a sense, he is kind of like AI. But, like, I do trust him with the ball in his hands. And, yeah, like, he does, he doesn't always have a flawless game where he doesn't have any turnovers or makes mistakes. But he's getting better, and he keeps showing that. So.
Next step, I love Maxey. I love Maxey. He's great right now. But his next step is he's got to make his teammates better. He doesn't really make anybody better.
No, I agree. And that's the thing, too. Like,
with the speed, there's room for penetration.
Yeah. There's expansion on the floor. You can move the ball around. But, like, you're right. With Maxey, he can be a little selfish. But it's, like, it's good at times. And then it's sometimes where he's just, like, chucking up shots for no reason and it throws off the rhythm. That's where I have concerns. But, things will tell over time.